Kenny Chesney, the sun-soaked troubadour of country music whose anthems of beachside escapism and heartfelt longing have soundtracked millions of summers, has long been a private soul beneath the stadium lights. In his introspective new memoir Heart Life Music, he peels back the layers of his most enduring personal story, the evolution, and eventual shift, of his relationship with Mary Nolan, the woman who shared his quiet corners away from the tour buses and cheering crowds. Their bond, forged in the unassuming rhythms of everyday companionship rather than tabloid glamour, began in the early 2000s, a time when Chesney was riding the crest of hits like No Shoes, No Shirt, No Problems, yet grappling with the isolation that fame's relentless tide can bring. Nolan, a photographer with an eye for the subtle beauty in ordinary scenes, entered Chesney's orbit through mutual friends in Nashville's tight-knit music scene. She was no stranger to the spotlight's glare. Her lens had captured the raw energy of live performances and the intimate portraits of fellow artists. But she preferred the shadows, content to let her work speak while she observed. Their first meeting unfolded at a low-key barbecue on the outskirts of Franklin, Tennessee, where the air hummed with cicadas and the scent of smoked brisket. Chesney, fresh off a whirlwind tour, found himself drawn to her unpretentious laugh and the way she framed conversations like compositions, highlighting the humor in chaos. What started as casual coffees amid his recording sessions blossomed into a partnership built on mutual respect. She understood the nomadic pull of his career, he admired her grounded creativity. For over a decade, they navigated the delicate dance of love in the public eye without fully stepping into it. Paparazzi snaps were rare, red carpet appearances non-existent. Theirs was a love letter written in private notes and shared sunsets on remote islands. Chesney's lyrics often hinted at her influence. The resilient spirit in You Had Me from Hello, the quiet devotion in Don't Blink. But he guarded their story fiercely, knowing the voracious appetite of celebrity gossip. Nolan in turn brought stability to his high-octane world, her camera chronicling not just his stage persona but the unguarded moments. Him strumming idly on a porch swing, lost in thought, or sketching song ideas on napkins stained with morning coffee. The turning point, as Chesney recounts with raw vulnerability, arrived in the winter of 2011, a season when personal tempests threatened to upend his carefully curated life. Divorcing his brief marriage to Renee Zellweger had left scars, amplifying doubts about his capacity for lasting connection. Sleepless nights on his Virgin Islands estate morphed into a crisis of attachment, where the vast ocean views mocked his inner emptiness. Enter his therapist, a no-nonsense professional who had become a confidant amid the chaos. On the eve of Christmas, she appeared unannounced at his door, cradling a wriggling bundle of fur, a golden doodle puppy whose soulful eyes seemed to pierce his defenses. You need to learn to attach to something, she said, her words landing like a lifeline tossed into turbulent waters. Chesney hesitated, the idea of vulnerability clashing with his self-reliant ethos, but the pup's insistent nuzzles won him over. He named her Poncho, after a faithful sidekick in an old western, and in her boundless energy he glimpsed a path to healing. Poncho became more than a pet, she was a catalyst, her playful antics coaxing Chesney from isolation. Daily walks along sun-dappled beaches evolved into rituals of reflection, where he'd ponder lyrics inspired by her unfiltered joy. Nolan, ever attuned to serendipity, soon mirrored this gesture of openness. Visiting a local animal rescue, she encountered Ruby, a red-nosed pit bull terrier whose haunted gaze told tales of past cruelties. Abused and withdrawn, Ruby cowered in her kennel, a shadow of the spirited dog she was meant to be. Nolan adopted her on instinct, drawn to the underdog's quiet strength, much like the man she loved. Bringing Ruby home marked a new chapter. The dog's initial wariness gave way to an inseparable bond, their romps through grassy fields mirroring the couple's own intertwined lives. Suddenly it was me, Poncho, Ruby, and Mary. We were a family, Chesney writes, the sentence a poignant anchor in the book's emotional core. This quartet formed the heart of their home, a sanctuary where tour schedules paused and spotlights dimmed. Weekends blurred into idols. Barbecues where Nolan grilled while Chesney serenaded with acoustic covers, hikes where the dogs led the way through whispering pines, evenings curled on the couch with takeout and dog-eared novels. The animals bridged gaps, their loyalty a model for human fragility. Poncho's goofy loyalty tempered Chesney's wanderlust. Ruby's gradual trust encouraged Nolan's guarded heart. Together they weathered storms, his grueling album cycles, her demanding exhibitions. Emerging stronger, their love deepened by shared stewardship. Yet, as with all profound connections, shifts occur, subtle at first like tides receding before a wave. Chesney traces the pivot not to a single betrayal but to the inexorable pull of growth. Fame's demands intensified, arenas swelled to 60,000 seats, endorsements piled on, and the road claimed more of him than ever. Nolan, thriving in her photographic pursuits, began exploring solo travels, capturing festivals in Europe, wildlife in Africa, her independence a quiet evolution. Distance bred introspection. Conversations once effortless now carried undercurrents of unmet needs, dreams diverging like paths in a fork. Even after my relationship with Mary shifted, Chesney reflects, that's another reality. Trying to protect people you love's privacy, because they didn't sign up for anything beyond loving this person who chases a dream. The word shifted is deliberate, euphemistic yet honest, acknowledging transformation without blame. In the face of this gentle unraveling, the dogs remained the constant. Chesney rejects joint custody as too clinical. Poncho and Ruby were ours, their friendship a pact transcending human frailties. They co-parented seamlessly, holidays split between Nashville and Nolan's coastal retreat, playdates that doubled as check-ins, vet visits attended in tandem. This arrangement, born of compassion, preserved dignity amid dissolution. But time, that impartial editor, eventually claimed its due. Ruby, the resilient survivor, began to fade in her later years, her once vibrant gait slowing, breaths labored on familiar trails. Vets counseled euthanasia, but Nolan, attuned to her companion's spirit, insisted on more time. She's not ready to go, she declared, and together they whisked the pair to California, a sunlit haven for final adventures. Those weeks were a masterclass in grace under grief. Beaches stretched endlessly, waves lapping at paws that once bounded with vigor. Chesney and Nolan, side by side yet worlds apart, watched sunrises paint the sky in hues of rose and gold, sharing stories of Ruby's antics, her penchant for stealing socks, her fierce protection of Poncho during thunderstorms. We were making the best of something that was going to trample our hearts, Chesney pens, his prose aching with foresight. In December 2022, Ruby slipped away peacefully, her passing a whisper in the night.